Hello and welcome to my drawing channel, The Drawing Wizard. My name is David Taylor, David Greg Taylor for long, and I've been drawing since Eisenhower was in his next to last year of his administration, 1959. I was 6 years old, my brother was drawing horses, so I started drawing horses. He stopped drawing horses, I never stopped. So I've taught drawing for a quarter of a century or so, and both on the college level and high school. And I attended Missouri State University and Pratt Institute. Had a great time at Pratt and at Missouri State. And but that's a long time ago. It's a long, long time ago. Anyway, if you're here interested in drawing, these are these are the devices I use. Stonehenge drawing paper and Dixon No. 2 HB pencils. Nothing special. Years ago, I read a little article on somebody who was observing Frank Frazetta draw and paint, and what he noticed is that he didn't have any special equipment. He just any old brush, any old pencil, or anything like that. This is not the pencil. It's what's driving the pencil. I just buy these 144 to a box, and they last an awful long time. And then I have a pink pearl eraser. I use that a lot, and really fancy sharpener that I get a dozen of them at a time. Costs about 10 cents. Anyway, I am going to draw today. I've got my camera set up. I've got my monitor over here. It's upside down, unfortunately, because that's the way these things work, but my little viewfinder here shows me what's going on, so I look up at it every once in a while, you know what I'm doing. I draw from my head. I have an idea what's going to happen. I have a scene in my head. It'll change as I go along, because they always do. And I'm left-handed, so my camera is just a little bit over to the right and at an angle, because if I don't, I'll get real get real tight and everything like that, and you won't be able to see what I'm doing. So I have this technique that I've been developing that is a combination of a system I used when I was very young, doing comics, and had just discovered it was a combination of both comics, and I discovered Picasso and Matisse, and I noticed something in Matisse, and so I'm using this in a way 40 years later that is also related to something I noticed in Leonardo da Vinci, and that's where I come from Matisse, Picasso, Da Vinci, Raphael, Michelangelo, Rembrandt, and printmaking. I have an undergraduate degree in printmaking, so I've been doing a lot of prints for I took a long break, and then I discovered non-toxic printmaking. So anyway, let's start working. This has to do with creating deep space, a foreground where things are going on, and then deep space behind it. Yeah, maybe that's the way I'll do it. The way I do this is I just simply keep on drawing and making all types of marks until something comes together. And then I erase what I don't like, and I have a sort of like a special thing that I cooked up that enables me to cover up all my mistakes. Beginning of these things are fraught with anxiety. Am I ever going to be able to come up with anything worth a hoot again? Let's see. I got a feeling this is going to be a heavily edited video. I'm bringing these things out the first couple of weeks daily, and then I skipped a weekend. Everybody in the house got a cold, so I just took it easy. Okay. Okay. Okay, it's turning into something totally different. Oh well, that's the way it goes. Yeah, maybe I'll get around to that drawing sooner or later someday. Okay. Okay. Now, here's the way I do it. I don't know how anybody else draws because I don't talk to too many people about these things. Is I set up something happens here, and everything else is built around it. Everything changes because of that one thing, and that drives the engine of the whole drawing. And you'll notice it's difficult to draw and talk at the same time. They're on different things. So I'm going to talk forever. I guess I should. Right now I'm working on the line portion of the drawing so that I can go into overdrive in a few minutes. Sometimes it takes 30-40 minutes for that to happen. I'm 19 minutes into this, but I've had some missteps, so some of that won't be in the final video. Now, what's this guy doing? Okay, what he's doing. Okay, one of the foils I love to do is showing somebody putting their hand on somebody else's shoulder. Hey, you, look. Okay. And you just redraw the hands. Okay. Yeah, it's all very dark lines, and I'm going to get rid of that. Well, you'll see. These are these. Okay, he's. Okay, they're looking up in the sky. There's something going on. It is, I read years ago that as people become adults, they rarely look up to see what's above them. They're always got their eyes fixed on where they're going, where they're walking and everything like that. But they rarely look up to see what's going on above them, unless they hear an airplane at the airport or something like that. So this guy's going to point too. Maybe Santa Claus. Maybe Santa Claus is coming to town. Yeah, it's that time of year. These guys appear to be Irish. And they're Irish elves, of course. That's what I'm doing these days, is elves. Okay. And they're up somewhere. I guess. This is an asymmetrical composition. Now, the reason that you get asymmetrical compositions usually have everything over on this side, because we read right to left, left to right. And if we didn't have something over here, unless it's a symmetrical composition, if it's asymmetrical, you have to work out how you read this way, and then your focus is going to be over here. So artists have, since time immemorial, have a tendency to put things over here if they're doing asymmetrical things, unless they want to break the rules, which people do a lot. And so you bunch everything over here. In my classes, I have always referred to this side of the drawing as the heavy side, because your tension naturally goes that way. And this is the light side, so you can bang up, you can put more over on this side. And you leave this open. You put some cool stuff down there. Now, what I'm about to do is I'm supposed to go into my overdrive. You see, this guy's got to have something going on with his hat. Christmas. Okay. So, now to give this, right now we're just kind of flat line, and to give this a sense of being in the foreground, you're going to have some kind of difference in value and light, and this we're going to use atmospheric perspective. So now I'm going to go into it. I'm going to do my Leonardo thing. I've done my Matisse thing. Now I'm going to do my Leonardo thing, where I use my distinct advantage of being left-handed to do diagonal lines that are going to give this foreground a deeper value, but also give it a little bit of modeling, a little bit of chiaroscuro. Let's see, you're going to have to mess with that a little bit. Okay. Because what I'm going to do is, by necessity, because I've been searching and searching and searching, and using line not in a very subtle manner, I'm going to give this thing some oomph and subtleties that it does not have now. Now it's in its sort of like its Matisse classical Picasso phase, where everything is line and flat. And of course, flatness is that thing that modern art sought because the support was flat. Forgetting about many times illusion, but that's not my problem. My problem is produce something that has deep space in it, where figures turn, where they turn, just turn, and you can feel it. And by turning, you can feel the space behind them. Many years ago, a wonderful dear friend of mine, who was also my drawing teacher, kept saying, draw the space between the objects. And I didn't know what the heck he was talking about. But when the light went off in on my head and I realized how to draw the space between the objects is by making those figures turn. By making those figures turn, you instinctively feel the space behind the object. Oops, look at that. Oh, boy. I built my entire setup here myself out of PVC pipes, which is how I created my camera stand. And then I had to raise it above the drawing table because when it was on the drawing table, every time I moved, the camera stand would move. And when I was doing something like this, the camera would just be all over the place. And if you look at my earlier videos, 1 through about 8 or something like that, you'll notice that the camera just wiggles all the time. Now it's just the table that wiggles. Got a bunch of other pencils all over there. This is my first picture in a picture video. We're going to composite the whole thing in Adobe Premiere Pro, which allows you to do that. I have been doing this in iMovie. But if I'm going to pay for Creative Cloud Studio every month, I might as well use the more complex, cool stuff that I'm paying for anyway. By the way, Adobe Creative Cloud is about as cool as it gets. You know, you get all these incredible pieces of software for really, compared to how much they actually cost. Back in the day when you would just have it on a CD or a DVD, it's like nothing. So it's worth it. And they store your stuff. At least a good amount of it. Okay. I'm starting to get it. No. Okay, I've got these guys. Now here's where the magic comes in. It's going to be some. And it has all to do with that pink pearl eraser. So, I erase a good deal of it. That's the whole secret. Is that I'm now about to give variation to that plotting line that I was using. Heavy hand that I was using, which has been my nemesis since I was a kid. But now I use it to my advantage. Run, ring. It is one of the coolest things about being an older artist is that you have just when I was 18, 19 years old, I was hanging out with other cartoonists. We all wanted to be cartoonists, illustrators. So we worked in a cartoon fashion. I went off to become a printmaker, and they went off to do their thing. But none of this stuff leaves you. Now it's all been erased. Now I've got this kind of shadow thing. Now I can play with it. Okay, where we got? Okay, we're over here. Now I can play with it. And I can get subtle. Because anything I don't want to draw is still there. Things I want to emphasize. Now I can start to use line to model this stuff. Some things could be completely unstated. That'll be where I get my subtleties. And some of the marks that you make while you're erasing, you keep. They become new marks. And drawing with your eraser is cool. I keep employing this Leonardo thing of using the diagonal lines that are peculiar to we lefties, because it now allows you to do a Rembrandt thing, which I notice a great deal in his etchings of having this state of the etching that he's scraped away, but not scraped everything away, and then he does a state over that, and you get both of them there, and it's just so beautiful. Not that I could match the old man, but what the heck, I'm gonna try. Bring it over a little bit like this. Now I'm going to try and make this poor guy's face stand out by increasing the value down here. So I won't have to do much to this guy's face. Just leave him sort of like this. At least that part of his face so that it stands out. And one of the advantages of having drawn for 57 years is that I have a lot of tricks up my sleeve, and I know I have a good chance of bringing any drawing back from the depths of despair just by going back to one of my old techniques or things that I have noticed as I have studied countless numbers of drawings, both as an artist myself and as a teacher of art. I really began to understand drawing much more than I ever did before when I started teaching. Because then you have to communicate what this is all about, and you're all of a sudden you're actually talking about what you've been doing all these years. And then you say, oh, that was what that was all about. Blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, that was supposed to be like that. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I wanted that. To me, the coolest thing is to do a multi-figured drawing, because then you can actually something going on in a multi-figured drawing you don't see in a portrait. You rarely see in a portrait. It's just like you can use that eraser to do things. start playing around with the background.
Okay,